You know, the numbers, they're stark. Nearly 4,000 species on the IUCN Red List just clinging on.
It's a huge number.
But think about this right now. There are creatures out there so rare, we're literally counting them, maybe on two hands. They're right on the edge.
Yeah.
So today for this deep dive, we're going beyond just the stats. We want to get into the stories, the fight, the resilience.
Absolutely. And these stories, they aren't just about the animals themselves, are they? They're so tied up with us, with human choices.
Exactly.
I mean, just try to picture a world without some of these unique creatures. Is that something we're really going to let happen?
That's the question.
So this journey, this deep dive, it's about understanding what we stand to lose, but also, crucially, what's actually being done. The effort involved is, well, it's remarkable sometimes. It shows we can make a difference.
Okay, so let's zoom in then. Let's take that global picture and look at a couple of specific examples that really show this struggle and maybe some hope too.
Good idea.
First up, let's go to Mexico's Gulf of California. We're talking about the Vaquita, a kind of phantom of the sea, really.
The little porpoise.
Yeah, the world's smallest cetacean, whales, dolphins, porpoises. Very distinctive, apparently, with dark rings around its eyes. But it's also the world's rarest marine mammal, like a ghost.
Extremely elusive.
And this number, I mean, when I first saw it, it just stopped me cold.
Yeah.
Scientists think there are only maybe 8 to 13 left. Just 8 to 13.
It's almost impossible to comprehend, isn't it? And the reason for that catastrophic drop, it's almost entirely down to one thing: illegal gill nets.
The fishing nets.
Right. Mostly nets set for another endangered fish, the totoaba. Its swim bladder is, unfortunately, highly valued in illegal markets.
So the vaquitas are just collateral damage.
Pretty much. They get caught accidentally and they drown. Now, sure, other things like habitat issues, maybe climate change, they add pressure, but the nets, they're the primary killer. And it's a really stark warning, how going after one species illegally can just devastate another, push it right to the very brink.
So what's being done? Is anything working?
Well, there's been a huge effort. Mexico banned these gill nets in the Vaquitas area. The Navy's out there patrolling. There are efforts to find fishing gear that won't catch vaquitas. They even tried a captive breeding program back in 2017, but it turned out to be too stressful for the animals.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking. So now the big focus is on getting those illegal nets and also the ghost nets, lost or abandoned nets, out of the water.
Right, because they just keep fishing on their own.
Exactly. But there is a tiny bit of hope. There have been recent sightings, even calves sighted. It suggests if, and it's a big if, we can keep those waters safe, they might just hang on.
Wow. Okay, from the ocean depths, let's shift gears completely. Let's head over to New Zealand to look at another really unique creature, the Kākāpō. Now, picture a parrot, but it acts like an owl.
Yeah.
And get this, it can't fly. It's this big, heavy, nocturnal bird. The world's only flightless parrot, and the heaviest too. Can weigh, over 6 pounds? And they live for ages.
Decades, yeah. They're incredible.
But here's the part that gives me real hope. Back in 1995, there were only 51 of them left. 51.
A critical low point.
And now, as of this year, 2024, the population is up to 244.
That's a comeback. How on earth did they manage that?
It is an amazing comeback, and it really shows what intensive conservation can do. The main problem for the Kākāpō was predators that humans introduced to New Zealand. Cats, rats, stoats.
Those weasel-like things.
Exactly. Kākāpō evolved without any land mammal predators, so being flightless, nesting on the ground.
Yeah.
They were just, easy targets, and they breed really slowly, which didn't help.
Right.
So the solution, it was pretty drastic, but effective. They moved every single surviving Kākāpō to offshore islands that had been completely cleared of those predators.
Wow. Predator-free islands?
Yep. And once there, it's like super intensive care. Every bird has a transmitter. They get extra food. They even use artificial insemination and genetic analysis to plan breeding pairs. It's like a scientific dating service for parrots.
It's a dating service, kind of. And you might remember Sirocco, the Kākāpō that went viral.
Oh, yeah, the one from the documentary.
That's him. He actually did a lot to raise global awareness. And then they had a massive breeding year in 2022, a real bumper crop of chicks, which boosted numbers significantly. Now there's even cautious talk about moving some back to protected mainland areas eventually.
That's just fantastic.
It really is. And if you tie these two stories together, the Vaquita and the Kākāpō, the common thread is so clear, isn't it? Human actions got them into trouble.
Definitely.
But human actions, focused and determined, can also pull them back. But the Kākāpō proves that even when things look incredibly bleak, intensive, hands-on conservation can work. Creating safe havens works.
So for anyone listening, just hearing these stories, learning about them, that actually matters. That awareness is the first step.
It really is.
But you can do more, right? There are concrete things you can support the groups doing the work on the ground, the ones pulling out nets or managing those islands.
Absolutely. Donations help hugely.
And think about your choices, like sustainable products, avoiding palm oil linked to deforestation, cutting down on single-use plastics that end up in the ocean, even responsible tourism.
All important. And being an advocate. Share what you learn. Help debunk myths like rhino horns having medicinal value or pangolin scales. They don't.
Right. Bust those myths and maybe get involved locally. Beach cleanups, citizen science projects, they all contribute.
Yeah, connecting with your community, taking local action, and finally supporting policies pushing for more protected areas, stronger pollution rules, action on climate change. It all connects back.
It really does.
Just imagine it for a second. A little vaquita calf swimming freely because the nets are gone, or hearing that strange Kākāpō booming call echoing in a forest again. These aren't just pipe dreams, you know. Critically endangered. Sounds like an ending. But it doesn't have to be. It can be the start of a comeback. A story that you genuinely can help write through awareness, through choices, through action, through action, through action, through action.